الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي خلق السماوات والأرض، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين، أما بعد. قد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم ذلك الدين القيم فلا تظلموا فيهن أنفسكم. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم، ونحن على ذلك لمن الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. My dear respected elders, mothers, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I begin in the name of Allah Azza wa Jal and by sending peace and salutations on our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We have started a new year, a new Gregorian year. And as we are living in the West, we are all familiar with this calendar. We are familiar with the years, familiar with the month, and we are also familiar with the dates which are significant to the Christians. Now the real question here is how many of us Muslims are familiar with our Hijri Islamic calendar? Do we know the significant dates in Islam? And do we know the names? Do we even know the names of our Islamic month? In fact, how many of us know the current Islamic month or year we are in? Alhamdulillah, we entered the blessed month of Rajab, and today is the 3rd of Rajab. Now we all know when is Ramadan, Alhamdulillah, and we know when is Dhul Hijjah, as these are significant and important events in the year. But what about the other months? Let me tell you why it is important to know about our Islamic month. First of all, a child who have not reached the age of puberty, and if they have not experienced any of the natural signs, such as a voice breaking, some of the pubic hair, etc. growing, then in Islam there are 15 Islamic birthday will make them reach the adulthood, regardless if they have experienced any of the signs or not. That's number one. Number two, our zakah. Now many people think that zakah should be paid in Ramadan. No, we don't have to pay it in Ramadan, even though there is more reward in doing good action in the month of Ramadan. If somebody is paying in Ramadan, Alhamdulillah, it's something good. But my point here is zakah is payable every Islamic year. Even though there might only be 10 days difference between our Islamic year and the Gregorian year, but our zakah is payable every Islamic year. Whichever month you are paying, but it is compulsory for you to pay on every Islamic year. Number two. Number three, our obligatory fasting, Sawm, also begins the 1st of Ramadan and ends on the 1st of Shawwal. And our Hajj, pilgrimage, takes place between the 8th and the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay? 12th of Dhul Hijjah. So, therefore, it is important for us to know our Islamic calendar and to be familiar with the Islamic calendar. We know that the Gregorian calendar is based on the belief that Isa alayhi salam was born 2025 years ago. This is their belief. But how many of us know what our Islamic calendar was based on? Because even children know that the Gregorian calendar is based on what they believe was Isa alayhi salam when he was born. But how many of us Muslims know, okay, we have an Islamic calendar, we may know the year, but what it is based on? When did it start? When did it take effect? What was the origin of our Islamic calendar? So the most common opinion is that the beginning of our Hijri Islamic calendar was decided in the time of Umar radiallahu anhu. Let me give you a brief background of our Islamic calendar. So, Sha'bi rahimahullah and Muhammad ibn Sirin rahimahullah, they mentioned that once, on one occasion, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu, who was a great Sahabi, he wrote a letter to Umar radiallahu anhu, the Khalifa of the time, when he was Amir al-Mu'mineen. In the letter, he mentioned, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari sent a letter to Umar, but in the letter he mentioned to Umar, because there was obviously no other means of communication, there was no phone, text, etc. So he said on the letter to Umar, that you have previously sent me a letter, and I acknowledge I've received your letter. Okay? But he said, one point he mentioned to Umar, that on your letter, there was no date. There was no date on it. So how do I know when did you send it? So that's the point he made. So then, in the 17th year of Hijri, Umar radiallahu anhu was concerned. So he gathered the Sahaba. He had a meeting with the companions, and he wanted to discuss and set a date. In other words, he wanted to establish the Islamic calendar. And this is when it happened on the 17th year of Hijri. So the first point of discussion in the meeting was, when should the Islamic calendar start from? Meaning, when would be the first year? So the Sahaba, they presented their opinions. One opinion was, we should start our calendar from the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the date. Even though it was not done at that time, but they said, from the birth, we'll start our Islamic calendar. Some others said, maybe from the time he received the nubuwwah, from the time he received the prophethood, we can start our calendar. Others said, let's start it from the time of hijrah, of migration. And some others said, from the time of the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he passed away, we will start our calendar from there. So Umar radiallahu anhu gathered all his thoughts, and he had to choose the best option and make a decision, a wise decision. So first of all, regarding setting the date of our Islamic calendar, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was born, from his birth, Umar radiallahu anhu did not like this opinion, simply because this is resembling the way of the Nasara, of the Christians, because their calendar also starts from when they believe Isa alayhi salam was born. So that's out. The second option was to set the date from when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed away. So again, Umar radiallahu anhu did not like this opinion, because the passing away of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was a big loss. It was a big blow to our ummah. That's why it would not be appropriate to mark the start of the calendar with this event. sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The third one, after discussions between the Sahaba, Umar radiallahu anhu came to this decision that let's start our Islamic calendar from the Hijrah, from when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam migrated from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Madinah al-Munawwarah. And the reason behind this choice was simply because the Hijrah was the time, marked the time when the difference between the haqq and the batil, between the truth and the falsehood became clear, evident and established. And this was the beginning of the rise of Islam. This was the beginning of the honor of Islam. So all the Sahaba radiallahu ajma'in, alhamdulillah, they all agreed on this opinion, with this opinion. Now, why do we have 12 months? What is it based on? So in the ayah I read previously, in Surah Al-Tawbah, verse 36, Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم ذلك الدين القيم فلا تظلموا فيهن أنفسكم. Surely the number of months according to Allah عند Allah is 12. 12 شهرا in the book of Allah, في كتاب الله, on the day Allah Azza wa Jal created the heavens and the earth. يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم, and out of the 12 months, 4 months are sacred. منها 4 حرم, and this is the right faith, so do not wrong yourself. From this we can see clearly that Allah Azza wa Jal Himself has made the 12 months. So in the Islamic calendar we have, and out of them 4 months are sacred, as Allah Azza wa Jal decreed and mentioned to us in the Quran. These 4 months are Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram. Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and the month of Muharram. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we have 12 months in our Islamic year. Let me share with you the names and the meaning of these months. There are some more background history detail about the sacred month in the time of Rasulullah and much before that as well, but I won't have time to go into that, where the people used to kind of cheat in the month. They used to swap the month, because Allah Azza wa Jal clearly decreed that it is 4 sacred months. And then sometimes they used to extend the year, or decrease the year, or increase the year. Sometimes they used to swap the month as well. And they used to play around with that. We will leave that. Let's go with the calendar, the 12 months that we have. I will give you a very brief description and detail of every month, the meaning of that, and maybe we can learn something from there. So the first month is the month of Muharram. Now, it was named Muharram because it is one of the sacred months. As we mentioned, the month of Muharram is one of the sacred months. What does sacred mean here? Bloodshed was forbidden, was haram. It was basically haram to fight in this month. According to Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah, it was named Muharram to emphasize on the sacredness of this month. To emphasize on the sacredness of this month. Because again, as I just mentioned very briefly, the Arabs in those days, they used to keep changing the month. They would not keep and stick to the month, they would change it around. So one year they would say that Muharram is a sacred month, and the following year they would say it's not sacred. Or they would do different tricks around that. So that's been decreed, Muharram is a sacred month, and they would not change it from then on. The second month was Safar. This comes from the word in Arabic which means empty, something which is empty or void. In this month, the people, there's difference of opinion, but some of the opinion is the people used to leave their houses due to traveling or going to fight. So, due to the fact that the homes of the Arab were empty at this time of the year, then they used to go also out to find food. And the houses were left empty. This is why it's named Safar, which means empty or void. Number 3, Rabi'ul Awwal. So this comes from the word in Arabic, irtiba'. Okay? It means to maintain one's property. To maintain one's property. So in this month, Rabi'ul Awwal, and the next month, following month, the people used to maintain their houses. Hence the name. That's one opinion. All the meaning is, Rabi' means the spring. Rabi'ul Awwal, the first spring. So it could mean to graze, as this is the first month when the cattle started to graze, as the earth would give new life, and this was an extremely happy month. Okay, this was a happy month, Rabi'ul Awwal. Rabi'ul Thani, Rabi'ul Akhar is similar in meaning, it means the second spring. Jamadul Ula, it means the dry land. The dry land or the frozen land. This comes from the word jamud, which means to freeze something. It could be that it was a cold month, used to be a cold month, and this month was named as according to the weather, and the water would freeze. And Jumad al-Akhir was the last dry land, the month of the last dry. And the last frozen land, you can call it the last frozen land. Rajab is the second of the sacred month. We mentioned Muharram, now we are talking about Rajab, the second of the sacred month, and it is the only sacred month. Rajab is the only month which is not joined to the others. It is the only month which is apart from the other three. And it comes from the word tarjib, which means to honor something, to respect something. And again, being the second sacred month, it is haram to fight during this month. The 8th month of the year is Sha'ban. In this month of Sha'ban, the tribes would separate. And they used to go here and there as expedition to fight. So, the word tasha'ub means to move, but to move in different directions, to split up or to scatter. And also is mentioned the Arabs used to scatter to find water in those months. Okay, that's Sha'ban. Ramadan comes from the word ramda', which means burning heat or mean sun-baked ground. The ground, sun-baked ground. The intensity of the sun-baked ground was due to the heat in this month. And that's why, according to some narration, Ramadan was named as such. But some people say that Ramadan is one of the name of Allah. But this is wrong. This is not correct. This is totally mistaken. Shawwal, the 10th month, Shawwal. This comes from the word sha'la, which means to raise something. Okay, something which is raised. Or it could mean to raise the tail. Now the camels, they used to be playful during this month of Shawwal. And they used to raise their tails. And the female camel, normally they used to be expecting and pregnant at this time of the year. Dhul Qa'dah, we've got two more, Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. Dhul Qa'dah, the 3rd month of the sacred month. The word Dhu in Arabic means a possessor of something. And the word Qa'dah means to sit. Even in Salah, we have the Qa'dah. Qa'datul Ula, Qa'datul Akhir, etc. So to sit. So it means the month of sitting. The month of sitting. The Arab would generally sit in this month instead of going to fight, as again it is one of the sacred months. It's also known as the month of ceasefire, or the month of peace treaty, or the month of armistice. Dhul Qa'dah. Dhul Hijjah, now it is a final month of the year, and also the last of the 4 sacred months. It is called as such because the Hajj takes place in this month. It's quite an obvious one of the holiest and the most significant of all months. The brothers from the back are requesting if everyone can stand up and make a step forward. There are a lot of brothers waiting to come in, and both halls are full. Is that okay? Come slightly forward. We're coming to the end of the first khutbah, inshallah. Now, the order of the month that we have in Islam and the name of the month that we have in Islam is not man-made. It's not man-made. But the day Allah Azza wa Jal created the heavens and the day Allah Azza wa Jal created the earth, on that day the order of the month and the name of the month and the specific actions which are to be performed in those specific months were already fixed, subhanAllah. So from this we can also determine that according to Allah Azza wa Jal, the law of Sharia are related to the lunar calendar. Upon the lunar calendar, we fast, we perform our Hajj, we pay our zakah, etc. So, alhamdulillah, it's holiday, we have a lot of youth here as well. So in these times we are living in, when more and more of our beliefs are being compromised, we are seeing so many Islamic practices being abandoned, and so many of our Islamic values being exchanged for others, unfortunately. So we need to make an extra step and some effort to embrace the ways of our Salaf, of our pious predecessors in all aspects of our lives. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us all the ability to incorporate more of our Islamic values in our lives, of the Sunnah in our lives, and being proud to be a Muslim. We should be proud to have the Muslim identity, and we should practice and follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam proudly. And may Allah Azza wa Jal make us familiar with the Islamic month, the significant Islamic days, and also may Allah Azza wa Jal give us all the ability to maximize the benefit we can gain from our limited time on this earth. آمين. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا، من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة. من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد، ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك، وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، وبارك على محمد وأزواجه وذريته. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: أرحم أمتي بأمتي أبو بكر، وأشدهم في أمر الله عمر، وأصدقهم حياء عثمان، وأقضاهم علي، وفاطمة سيدة نساء أهل الجنة، والحسن والحسين سيدا شباب أهل الجنة، وحمزة أسد الله وأسد رسوله. اللهم اغفر للعباس وولده مغفرة ظاهرة وباطنة لا تغادر ذنبا. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر دينك وكتابك وسنة نبيك وعبادك المؤمنين. اللهم فرج هم المهمومين من المسلمين ونفس كرب المكروبين واقض الدين عن المدينين واشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم احفظ الحرمين الشريفين، اللهم احفظ المسجد الأقصى المبارك، اللهم احفظ المسلمين والمسلمات في كل مكان يا حي يا قيوم يا رب العالمين يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت، أنت الغني ونحن الفقراء. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربنا رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.